Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!
Everyone, and welcome back to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington, and I cannot wait to help you lead a more joyful life. So today's episode, we are going to be talking about ambition versus ego and how knowing the difference between the two can help you beat anxiety, depression, and anything else that might be stealing your happiness and your joy. But before we dive in, don't forget to, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening on the podcast, be sure to subscribe to the podcast. And if you want, please leave a 5-star review. It really helps with, getting more people to find the podcast, find the channel, and, expand the community. Okay, so with that, let's dive in. So I really just wanted to talk about a personal experience that I had that really helped me change my mindset and my perspective when it came to ambition versus ego. So this was like a little bit ago, I had been really sort of down and very anxious and just in my head about really wanting to buy a home, It's like you get into that point where you see your friends buying homes and other people having homes, and you're like, I live in an apartment, even though I've lived in, major cities like New York and LA, which is where I currently live. And the majority of people rent, the majority of people have, even people who live in these like lavish homes, they're still like renting, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I live in a very comfortable, apartment, and it's fine. But in my own mind, I was putting a pressure on myself of, well, why don't I own a home by now? Why am I not here by now? Everyone is surpassing me. I'm falling behind. This is where I should be. This is what I should have. Blah, 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 blah. I was letting, the should buy now really bring me down. And I was feeling like I wasn't good enough. I feel like I hadn't accomplished enough. I felt like I was really falling just behind. And it was really, stealing my joy and not making me feel good. And I was kind of in that, rut of, looking around me and thinking like, this isn't where I should be. I should be X, Y, and Z, all of that stuff, right? And then right next door to me, in the apartment next to me, this family ended up moving in. And it's a family of a husband and a wife, and they have 2 beautiful children, school-age children, probably from like 6 to 10 or 11. Like, I don't know their exact age, but right around there. And these kids are so happy. I mean, they laugh, they play in the pool, they are running up and down, they're smiling, they're just living their best lives, and they're having so much fun. And when I saw how happy these kids were, it was really just a humbling moment. God, universe, divine, spirit, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's God, but whatever. Whatever resonates with you, has a really funny way of humbling you and checking your ego and checking you. Sometimes he does it in a way where, it's a little bit more humbling, and sometimes he does it, so he can either do it through suffering or he can do it through joy. And so thankfully this time, God, universe, divine taught me the lesson through joy, thankfully. So seeing the joy on these kids' faces, seeing how happy they were, this entire family living in the apartment building next to me, I just had to laugh and I had to check myself. Because here I was, living in a perfectly comfortable place in one of the most expensive, fast-paced cities in the world, and I had the audacity to complain. I had the audacity to think like something in my life was missing or lacking. I had the audacity to not feel grateful or appreciative. And in that moment, I just started just thanking everything I had. I was just like, thank you for my beautiful apartment. Thank you for food in my refrigerator. Thank you for clothes on my back. Thank you for this life. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for this air. I just started really looking at all of the everyday things that I had been taking for granted, all of the everyday things that I was being ungrateful for. And I just realized, how dare I complain and feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or something is missing, or something is lacking, when you can have an entire family living in an apartment and they are just full of joy, full of happiness, full of appreciation, loving their life. And what that taught me was, yes, you can be ambitious and you can have goals, but ambition without appreciation, goals without gratitude, is ego. And anytime you're rooted in ego, you will suffer. You will be depressed and you will be anxious, because you will think that you never have enough and you've never done enough. And you'll be judging yourself based on outside people, outside society, outside whatever you want to call it, rather than having the awareness and the cognizance that where you are is enough. Who you are is enough, and where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. And being grateful and happy and accepting of exactly where you are, and recognizes the blessings that you already have. Yes, you can have goals and be ambitious, so you can eagerly wait for more. I'm not saying that you think, oh, this is what I have, this is amazing, and I'll just stay here forever. I mean, if you want to, sure. But it's the perspective of, I am where I am and I have what I have, and that is enough. And it is okay. And I'm so appreciative. And I happily and eagerly, wait for more, strive for more, dream of more. But I appreciate what I have now, And that's really what I had to learn, was being appreciative for exactly what I have, and not confusing ambition with ego. And I'm so happy that I was able to learn that lesson through Joy. So I say to you, think about the goals you have, think about the desires you have, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a car, whether it's money, whether it's a home, or a number on the scale, whatever it is. Think about something that you're really wanting that is also bringing you suffering, feeling not good enough, feeling less than, feeling like you're falling behind, feeling like you'll never get there, feeling like something's missing and lacking. And I encourage you to write down, a gratitude list, an appreciation list of everything that you do have in this moment. It doesn't have to be big stuff. It could be the little stuff, just so you can see how much you already have, and that you are already good enough and you're already worthy. So that is something I would, implore you to do if you're feeling in that stuck position of ambition. I want, I don't have, I need. That's keeping you depressed, and that's keeping you anxious, and that's keeping you, separate from the peace and the joy and the stillness and the worthiness of being able to appreciate and be grateful for who you are, and for trusting that the divine has you where you are for a reason, So that's it. That's today's little self-care nuggets, little self-love perspective mindset nugget. So, comment below, where have you been, mistaking ambition for ego, and what can we appreciate today? So with that, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. And also don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast if you're listening on the podcast. And check out the show notes in the description box for our merchandise and for other resources from books and movies and merch and all that great stuff. And if you feel so inclined, please share, share this channel, share this podcast with someone that you think could really benefit from hearing this message. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourself and each other. I love you. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go!